In the heart of Nigeria, where the air is filled with the scent of spices and the streets buzz with life, lived a young woman named Nengi. Her life was one of stark contrast, joy and sorrow, wealth and poverty, love and betrayal. This is her story. In a modest, sunlit home nestled in a bustling Nigerian city, Nengi grew up enveloped in love. Her mother, Chioma, was a beacon of warmth and kindness, her laughter ringing through the air as she told stories of their ancestors. Nengi's father, Mr. Robinson, was a hardworking man, respected in the community for his integrity and wisdom. Nengi, with her large, expressive eyes and radiant smile, was the apple of her parents' eyes. Her world was filled with simple joys, chasing butterflies in the garden, listening to her mother's stories, and watching her father work with diligence and pride. But this idyllic life was not to last. Tragedy struck when Nengi's mother fell ill and passed away suddenly. The vibrant home was shrouded in grief, and the once lively atmosphere turned somber. Nengi, barely in her teens, felt the weight of the loss deeply. Her father, though heartbroken, tried to maintain a semblance of normalcy for his daughter's sake. In an attempt to restore stability, Mr. Robinson remarried. His new wife, Ogechi, was beautiful and seemed charming at first. She brought with her 2 daughters, and Binta, who were close in age to Aisha. However, Ogechi's outward charm masked a calculating and selfish nature. She favored her own daughters openly, showering them with gifts and affection, while Nengi was relegated to the background. The disparity was stark. While Amora and Uloma wore the finest clothes and attended the best schools, Nengi's needs were often neglected. Nengi's once carefree life was now filled with endless chores and little kindness. She was the household Cinderella, rising early to fetch water, cook, and clean while her stepsisters enjoyed a life of leisure. Despite the harsh treatment, Nengi remained resilient. Her mother's teachings about patience and strength kept her going. Her father, Mr. Robinson, seemed increasingly distant, buried in his own grief and work. He was unaware of the full extent of Ogechi's cruelty. Nengi's tears were silent, her pleas for love and fairness unheard in the bustling household. Though life was tough, Nengi found solace in small moments of peace. She would escape to a small corner of the garden, where she felt her mother's spirit in the rustling leaves and the fragrance of flowers. Here, she allowed herself to dream of a better future, where her worth was recognized and her heart could heal. One day, a humble young man named Uche came to their door. He was a tailor, known in the neighborhood for his skill and gentle demeanor. He had heard of Nengi's beauty and resilience and was drawn to her spirit. With respect and humility, he asked Mr. Robinson for Nengi's hand in marriage. Ogechi, eager to rid herself of Nengi, saw an opportunity. To her, Ibrahim appeared poor, a tailor who could never provide the luxuries she believed Nengi did not deserve. She quickly convinced Mr. Robinson to accept the proposal, dismissing any objections. The wedding was a simple affair, lacking the grandeur typical of Nigerian celebrations. Nengi wore a modest dress, her eyes reflecting a mix of apprehension and hope. Her father gave her away with a heavy heart, and Ogechi and her daughters barely concealed their glee at her departure. As Nengi entered Uche's home, she was struck by its simplicity. It was modest but filled with warmth and love. Uche treated her with a tenderness she had long yearned for, respecting her and valuing her opinion. Nengi began to feel a sense of belonging she had not felt in years. They spent their days working together in Uche's tailor shop and their evenings sharing stories and laughter. Despite their humble means, Nengi found herself happier than she had ever been. Yet, there was a lingering mystery about Uche that she couldn't quite place. One evening, as they sat under the stars, Uche turned to Nengi with a serious expression. He revealed a secret he had kept hidden from everyone. Uche was not merely a tailor. He was, in fact, a billionaire in disguise. Tired of superficial relationships, he had chosen to live humbly to find someone who would love him for who he was, not for his wealth. Nengi was stunned. She struggled to process the enormity of the revelation. Uche showed her documents and photos of his vast estates and business empire. It was a moment of shock and disbelief, but also of deep admiration for Uche's humility and wisdom. With his true identity revealed, Uche and Nengi moved into one of his grand estates. Nengi's life transformed overnight from modesty to opulence. Yet, she remained grounded, her years of hardship shaping her into a compassionate and wise woman. She embraced her new role, supporting Uche in his business ventures and using their wealth to help others. News of Uche's newfound wealth soon reached her stepmother and stepsisters. Ogechi, who had dismissed Uche as a poor match, was stunned and filled with regret. She could hardly believe that the girl she had mistreated was now living a life of luxury and influence. Driven by greed and regret, Ogechi attempted to mend her relationship with Nengi. She visited their grand home, her demeanor humble and her eyes filled with false contrition. Nengi, with the grace and strength she had always possessed, confronted Nengi, laying bare all the years of mistreatment and neglect. Despite the bitterness, Nengi chose the path of forgiveness. She understood that holding on to resentment would only harm her. She offered Ogechi and her daughters help, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to rise above the past. Nengi and Uche used their wealth to bring positive change to their community. They built schools, hospitals, and community centers, providing opportunities for those less fortunate. Nengi's story became a beacon of hope, showing that resilience and kindness can triumph over adversity. Tears of hardship can often conceal unexpected blessings. Nengi's journey from despair to joy is a testament to the power of love and the hidden fortunes that life can offer. Her story reminds us that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the strength of the human spirit. Nengi, now a wealthy young woman whose journey from a life of hardship to one of unimaginable wealth teaches us about resilience, forgiveness, and the hidden treasures within us all. In the end, it was not the riches that defined Nengi, but her unwavering spirit and the love that grew from it. In the grand halls of their new estate, Nengi and Uche embarked on a journey not just of wealth, but of healing and growth. Yet, as they settled into their newfound life, shadows of the past lingered, threatening to disrupt their peace. Nengi walked through the vast corridors of their new home, her footsteps echoing off marble floors. Chandeliers sparkled above, and the walls were adorned with artwork from around the world. It was a stark contrast to the humble life she had known. She marveled at the luxury, but also felt a twinge of discomfort. Despite the opulence, she held on to her humility and gratitude. Uche, seeing her unease, took her hand. "This is our home now, Nengi. We can shape it as we wish. Let's use our fortune to do good and help others," he reassured her. Nengi nodded, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. Nengi and Uche began their philanthropic work in earnest. They founded schools, providing free education to children who would otherwise be denied such opportunities. They built hospitals, ensuring that quality healthcare was accessible to all, regardless of their financial status. During the opening of a new community center, Nengi spoke to the gathered crowd. "Education and health are fundamental rights. We are committed to creating a better future for our community," she declared, her voice strong and clear. The applause that followed was thunderous, and Nengi felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Despite Nengi's forgiveness, Ogechi's nature had not changed. She visited frequently, her eyes always assessing the wealth around her. Amora and Uloma, her daughters, were equally intrigued by the luxury. They tried to ingratiate themselves with Nengi, but their motives were transparent. One day, Ogechi approached Nengi with a proposition. "Nengi, my dear, you have done well. Perhaps you could support Amora's new business venture. She wants to open a boutique, Ogechi suggested, her tone sweet but calculating. Nengi sensed the underlying greed but chose her words carefully. I'm willing to help, but Amora must present a solid business plan and work hard to make it a success. Nothing worthwhile comes without effort, Nengi replied, maintaining her composure. Ogechi nodded, masking her irritation. Amora, though initially reluctant, followed through with Nengi's conditions. She presented a business plan and, with Nengi's guidance, opened a boutique. The venture started slow but picked up momentum as Amora dedicated herself to it. For the first time, she began to appreciate the value of hard work and determination. One evening, Amora visited Nengi. Thank you for your support, Nengi. I didn't realize how much effort it takes to run a business. I have a new respect for what you've achieved, she admitted, her tone sincere. Nengi smiled, pleased to see genuine growth in her stepsister. Life was progressing well until unexpected visitors arrived. Mr. Robinson, now frail and weary, came to stay with Nengi and Uche. He had fallen ill and could no longer ignore Ogechi's neglect. Nengi welcomed him with open arms, her heart aching at the sight of his diminished state. Papa, you are safe here. We will take care of you, Nengi assured him, her voice filled with compassion. Mr. Robinson's eyes welled with tears, grateful for his daughter's kindness. Ogechi, furious that Mr. Robinson had sought refuge with Nengi, confronted her. You think you can take everything from me? You think you can turn him against me? She spat, her eyes blazing with anger. Nengi stood firm, her voice calm yet resolute. I didn't take anything, Ogechi. Papa chose to come here because he was not cared for. This is about his well-being, not your pride, Nengi replied, her gaze unwavering. Ogechi, realizing her defeat, left in a huff, her plans thwarted. Under Nengi's care, Mr. Robinson began to recover. He spent time with Nengi and Uche, learning about their charitable works and the lives they were transforming. He regretted not seeing Ogechi's true nature earlier but was proud of the woman Nengi had become. One evening, as they sat together, Mr. Robinson spoke softly, Nengi, you have shown such strength and grace. I am proud of you. Please forgive me for the past. Nengi took his hand, her eyes filled with tears. I have already forgiven you, Papa. Let's focus on the future and what we can achieve together, she replied. With her father's support, Nengi's resolve to help others grew stronger. They expanded their initiatives, reaching more people and making a significant impact. Uche, always by her side, admired Nengi's resilience and compassion. Their bond deepened, built on mutual respect and love. They organized community events, bringing people together and fostering a sense of unity. During one such event, a young girl approached Nengi. You inspire me, Nengi. I want to be like you when I grow up, she said, her eyes shining with hope. Nengi knelt down, her heart swelling with pride. You can be anything you want to be. Just believe in yourself and work hard, she encouraged. As life continued to flourish, Nengi discovered she was pregnant. The news brought immense joy to her and Uche. They looked forward to welcoming a new member into their family, seeing it as a symbol of their love and the new beginnings they had created. Throughout her pregnancy, Nengi continued her philanthropic work, though at a slower pace. She wanted to ensure that their child would grow up in a world where kindness and compassion were valued. In a serene hospital room, surrounded by loved ones, Nengi gave birth to a healthy baby boy. They named him Chidra, meaning, once God says it, that is, destiny can't be changed, symbolizing that the achievements they've made so far was by the help of God. As Nengi held Chidra in her arms, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. Uche kissed her forehead, his eyes filled with love. Our journey has just begun, Nengi. Together, we will create a future filled with hope and opportunity for everyone, he whispered. In the face of adversity, Nengi's strength and resilience had forged a path of compassion and success. Her journey from hardship to prosperity was a testament to the power of love and the hidden treasures within us all. As she looked at her son, Nengi knew that the future was bright, not just for her family, but for the countless lives they would touch. This is the story of Nengi, a woman who overcame the shadows of her past to build a legacy of hope and kindness. Her journey teaches us that true worth lies not in material possessions, but in the strength of the human spirit and the love that binds us together.